An area of saltwater that is not close to the shore is called the open ocean. Although the ocean is one continuous body of water, oceanographers have divided it into four principal parts: the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, and Arctic Oceans. The ocean occupies 71% of the planet's surface and contains 97% of Earth's water. The climate of the ocean varies since it is the largest biome in the world. Temperatures here range from -40 degrees Fahrenheit to over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, with an average temperature of about 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Near the equator, the water temperature is warmest, for here it receives direct rays from the sun. Near the poles, water temperature are the opposite, with an average temperature normally close to freezing. More than half of the world's rain falls over the ocean. This is for two reasons. One, the ocean is very large, and the water cycle runs faster here since the biome is made up of water. Two, the average yearly precipitation adds up to over 100 inches of water here. The open ocean is home to many plants such as kelp, seaweed, red algae, and phytoplankton. Phytoplankton are one of the Earth's most critical organisms, generating about one-half the atmosphere's oxygen. These microscopic, single-celled photosynthetic organisms live suspended on the surface of the water. They take up CO2 and make carbohydrates using light energy while releasing oxygen. They are primary producers of the open ocean, and they form the basis of the ocean food chain. Phytoplankton transforms inorganic carbon found in the atmosphere and in seawater into organic compounds, making them an essential part of Earth's carbon cycle. When they die, they sink to the ocean floor and carry this atmospheric carbon to the deep sea, making phytoplankton an important actor in the climate system. They are also an essential part of the biogeochemical cycle, since they take up, transform, and recycle elements needed by other organisms, as well as help cycle elements among species. Animals that live in the open ocean include octopus, leatherback sea turtles, whales, squid, and sharks. Sharks have a long history in our oceans, and evidence shows that these fish have been on Earth for more than 420 million years. Shark sizes vary from the dwarf lantern shark, which is only about 8 inches long, to the whale shark, which is almost 35 feet. Sharks have an amazing adaptation capability. They can adapt to new environments when looking for food. Sharks inhabit all of the world's ocean and have a variety of species-specific adaptations that help them survive and thrive in oceans of all latitudes and varying temperatures. The light availability in the open ocean depends on the ocean's depth, which consists of three light zones: the sunlit zone, the twilight zone, and the midnight zone. In the sunlit zone, also known as the euphotic zone, is the uppermost layer of the ocean. On average, the depth is about 200 meters, with a temperature of 104 to 27 degrees Fahrenheit. This zone is nearest to the surface of the water and receives enough light to perform photosynthesis. More than 90% of all marine life live here. The middle layer of the ocean, which extends to as deep as 1,000 meters, is referred to as the twilight zone, or the dysphotic zone. This poorly lit ocean layer appears to be deep blue to black in color, with water temperatures ranging from 41 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Plants do not grow here because of the lack of light available, and photosynthesis is not possible. Only animals that adapted to little light can survive here. Many of the animals in this dysphotic zone are bioluminescent, meaning that they have adapted to make their own light. The deepest layer of the ocean is called the midnight zone, also known as the aphotic zone. In the depths beyond the zone, only 1% of sunlight can penetrate these waters. Here, water pressure is extreme and temperatures are near freezing. Living things found in this area live near the cracks in the Earth's crust, where they receive nutrients from Earth's core. The nutrients available in this biome include nitrogen, phosphorus, silicon, carbon, and sulfur. A limiting nutrient in this biome is oxygen. The open ocean provides us with many provisions that allow us to survive, such as food, pharmaceutical compounds, and transportation. More than 1 billion people worldwide rely on fish as their main source of protein. 200 billion pounds of fish are caught each year. Animals and plants in the ocean provide a vast storehouse of chemical compounds unknown on land, which are used for medication and some hospital research. The open ocean is beneficial to humans for transportation and shipping. Ships carry more than 90% of trade between countries, and about half the communication between nations use underwater cables. Today, ships still carry most of the world's freight, particularly bulky goods such as machinery, grain, and oil. 3 regulating services or support systems provided by the open ocean are regulating climate, the carbon sink, and a use of using the biome as a classroom. Regulating the weather, the surface layer of the ocean absorbs over half the heat reaching the Earth from the sun. By distributing this heat around the world, ocean currents, which flow for thousands of kilometers both at the surface and far below, are extremely important in determining the climate of the world's continents. The open ocean is a part of the carbon sink because water has the capacity to absorb vast amounts of greenhouse warming gas carbon dioxide, and thus has helped to buffer human-caused global warming and climate change. Nearly half the CO2 produced by human activity in the last 200 years has dissolved in the ocean. There are many threats to the open ocean, including natural disasters as well as human-impacted threats. Natural disasters include hurricanes and typhoons created by ocean currents. The ocean's salinity, temperature, and coastal geographic features determine an ocean's current's behavior. Also, the Earth's rotation and wind influence the ocean currents. Humans are a huge threat to the open ocean creatures because of overfishing, lack of protection, shipping, pollution, and climate change. Most pollution comes from the runoffs of pollutants into streams and rivers that flow into the ocean. Storm drains or creeks wash the runoff into the local waterways, which eventually flow into the ocean. American and Canadian consumers spill about 16 million gallons of oil runoffs into the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean every year. A result of this issue is the algae boom, which is a rapid increase in the population of algae in an aquatic system. As more algae and plants grow, others die. This dead organic matter becomes food for bacteria that decomposes it. With more food available, the bacteria increases in number and uses up the dissolved oxygen in the water. When the dissolved oxygen content decreases, many fish and aquatic insects cannot survive. This results in a dead area. An example of marine pollution is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It is a floating dump in the North Pacific Ocean. It is about twice the size of Texas and probably contains about 100 million tons of debris. Overfishing occurs when more fish are caught than the population can replace through natural reproduction. The main problem of overfishing is the open access nature of fisheries. Because there are no or few property rights, there is a lack of incentive for fishermen to leave the fish in the water. The fish in the open ocean are caught in a variety of different ways: one-man casting net, huge trawlers, seining, drift netting, handle lining, long lining, gill netting, and diving. There are about 100 species of fish and shellfish that are caught a year. Some endangered species in this biome include whale sharks, leatherback sea turtles, and blue whales. The whale shark is considered vulnerable on the red list. It is the largest fish in the world, yet feeds almost entirely on tiny plankton, crustaceans, and small fish. Whale sharks are hunted down for many reasons internationally, including their flesh, liver oil, and fins. They have no significant natural predator other than humans. This animal is classified in this way because its long lifespan and slow reproductive rate, together with the naturally low abundance and highly migratory nature, are likely to increase its vulnerability over exploitation by fisheries. Leatherback sea turtles are characterized as critically endangered on the red list. This is due to loss of nesting habitat, accidental capture in fishing lines and nets, collisions with boats, egg collection for human consumption, and ingestion of discarded plastic, which are often mistaken for jellyfish. Lastly, blue whales are considered endangered on the red list. The blue whale is considered the largest animal that has ever lived on the planet. This giant is found in all oceans ranging from the tropics to the polar seas, with a preference for open water. They have become endangered throughout the years because there was a huge stage in the 19th century for hunting them with harpoons. Today, the most significant threat for this species may be declining availability for krill, its primary food source, whether due to climate change, ocean acidification, or other factors. Since hunting these whales are strictly prohibited by the International Whaling Commission, the species have been able to slowly recover. However, they still have a long way to go before they are completely off the red list. Recreational activities in the ocean biome include whale watching, deep sea fishing, and cage diving. On a whale watch tour, tourists are educated about the conservation and importance of whales, as well as having the opportunity to observe them in their natural habitat. Deep sea fishing is a sport in which people look to catch large open ocean fish species like shark, tuna, and swordfish. Cage diving is the activity of being lowered into the sea in a protective steel cage in order to view sharks or other dangerous sea creatures at a close range. As we continue to head out on our journey to the open ocean, an attraction that we will pass by is the wreck site of the RMS Titanic, which is located about 370 miles south-southeast of the coast of the Newfoundland. Here it lies at a depth of about 12,500 feet, where it was discovered by Dr. Robert Ballard in September of 1985. There are still remains of the ship in the deep open ocean. However, we cannot get there directly due to the massive water pressure and cold temperatures. On our way to the wreck, just off the coast of New England, we will also pass by George's Bank, home of one of the largest population of cod, haddock, herring, and sea scallops, and the Atlantic. Georges Bank is a large, elevated area of the seafloor between Cape Cod, Massachusetts and Cape Sable Island in Canada. It separates the Gulf of Maine from the Atlantic Ocean. Located 62 miles, 100 kilometers offshore, and it is 149 miles in length, making it larger than Massachusetts. Georges Bank once was the world's most productive fishing grounds. As we head south, nearby biomes we can visit on our trip include coral reefs, mangroves, intertidal zone, and rivers. Coral reefs are home to many fish and living organisms in the ocean. They are the most diverse and beautiful of all marine habitats. Mangroves are woody, specialized types of trees of the tropics that can live on the edge where the land meets the ocean. There are about 39.3 million acres of mangrove forests in the warm coastlines of tropical oceans all over the world. While exploring the intertidal zone, you will find complex ecosystems occurring at the interface of terrestrial and oceanic biomes. Their local character of all the intertidal biomes is determined by environmental factors such as tides, wave action, weather, and bottom type. Rivers are bodies of flowing water moving in one direction. Streams and rivers can be found everywhere. They get starts at headwaters, which may be springs, snowmelts, or even lakes, and then travel all the way to their mouths, usually another water channel or the ocean. Today's forecast from the open ocean in the Atlantic is partly sunny with the high winds traveling northeast. This will increase the wave height to be around 15 feet. The temperature's high is 70 degrees Fahrenheit with a low of 66 degrees Fahrenheit. Throughout the day, there will be a variety of different precipitation percentages ranging from 30 to 50%. To go on this journey, you need to bring warm clothes, scuba gear, a wetsuit, towels, waterproof camera, and a positive attitude.